Blessings, everybody. This is Dale. Thank you so much for joining with me today on the Word Podcast. We are in the 136th Psalm, an amazing, amazing Psalm. We looked at the first 6 verses, so let me just recap it real quick. It starts off by saying, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good." And it says in ESV, "For his steadfast love endures forever." The Lexham says, "For his loyal love endures forever." King James says, "His mercy endureth forever." New American Standard says, "His loving kindness is everlasting." And I feel sure there are several other different versions that say different things, but the same idea is communicated at the end of each one of these verses. So then the psalmist declares, "Give thanks to the God of gods." Next verse, "Give thanks to the Lord of lords." Next verse, "Give thanks to the one who alone does great wonders." Okay. Verse 5, "Give thanks to him who by understanding made the heavens." Then we're up to verse 6 now. "Give thanks to him who spread out the earth above the waters, for his steadfast love endures forever." And so we actually get a lot of insight into the nature of things, into cosmology, into what is the true reality. And I want to tell you right now that the true reality that you see within the scriptures is different from that which is taught to us by man. If nothing else, the scripture tells us that the Lord is the one who created. Okay? The Lord is the one who created. It wasn't just by happenstance. It wasn't just by sequencing of events, et cetera, all the stuff that man says. It's the Lord who created. It's the Lord by his understanding, by his skill, by his wisdom that made the heavens. It's the Lord who stretched out and spread the earth. Notice this, that he spread the earth, that he stretched out the earth, according to King James, above the waters. Above the waters. The earth is above waters. That's not what man tells us. Okay? And I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, "Oh, well, the psalmist is just waxing poetic." He is. But I think he's telling us truth of the true nature of things as he's doing so. Listen to the next word in verse 7. We're to give praise to the Lord. Remember, that's give thanks to the Lord. That's what all these are. Give thanks to the Lord, to him who made the great lights, for his steadfast love endures forever. The Lord made the great lights. Well, what great lights is he talking about? Well, the psalmist thought we might ask that question. The Lord knew that we would ask that question. He gives us the next 2 verses. Verse 8, "The sun to rule over the day, for his steadfast love endures forever. The moon and stars to rule over the night, for his steadfast love endures forever." So this is very much echoes. It's even more of than an echo. It's actually what is said in the first chapter of Genesis. The Lord created the great lights. Now, the word "great" in Hebrew means great, okay? If you look up lights, again, the word derives its meaning from the context. And so it can speak of the light of the day, daylight, or lightning. It's translated several times as like the light of a lamp, or light of life, the light of prosperity, the light of instruction, the light of a face, light of daybreak again. But specifically, it speaks the light of heavenly luminaries, the sun, moon, and stars. Okay? The Lord is the one who created the great light, the sun, moon, and stars. The sun does what? To rule by day, for his steadfast love endures forever. So the sun is to rule by day, even to such a degree that day is actually defined by the sun. We say that it's daylight when the sun is out, when the sun is passing over us, right? So the sun rules over the day. But then, verse 9, the moon and stars to rule over the night, or rule by night. And that word rule means to have a dominion. It means to rule, and it means a domain or a realm. So the realm of the sun is the daytime. The realm of the moon and stars is the nighttime. Well, do you ever see the moon and stars out during the daytime? Yes, you do. You can see the moon quite easily during the daytime. Just depends on what time of the month it is, etc., what time of the year it is. The stars are a little harder. You have to catch them at right moment, but you can see a star while the sun is out, particularly sunrise and sunset, right? That type of thing. But the moon and stars rule over the night. They have a ruling agenda. The sun rules by day. Now, what does man tell us about these things? I'll just give you an example. I've mentioned it several times before, but I want to say it again. We learned in our science classes, we were taught that the moon simply reflects the light of the sun. And that sort of nearly almost, but not quite, undermines what the scripture says here. You know, that, well, the moon is just reflecting the light of the sun. So how is it ruling? Well, it's inferior because it's just reflecting. And that's what you're running across. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. And there's several reasons for this. I'll give you a couple of them. The sun, its light is warm, is it not? It is. It's warm. Like it's a sunny day right now. I'm planning on later this afternoon go out and walking in the sun. Sun's good for you, right? It generates warmth, heat. It is the pure sunlight has all the spectrum of everything that we can see, and so it's like colorless in the midst of carrying all the colors, right? But sunlight is like an amber, a warm kind of color. Moonlight is not. Moonlight is a cool light. Just think about it. Next time you're out on the fully moonlit night, just pay attention. And you know, if it's a full moon or a bright moon, you can see your shadow, right, on the ground. You can see the color. And it's like that chilled out blue ice color kind of thing. But also, moonlight has a temperature. Moonlight is cooler than the surrounding area. If you take out one of those laser thermometer kind of things and aim it at the sidewalk with sunlight, the sidewalk's going to be warmer, right? Yeah, everybody said, well, that's true. You do the same thing with moonlight, and the sidewalk is going to be cooler than the ambient temperature of the atmosphere. Okay, this is just a scientific test. It's provable, repeatable, over and over and over. You can prove that moonlight is a different temperature. It's actually lighter. So what am I saying? I'm saying I think that the moon and stars rule over the night, and I think that the moon has its own light. Now, how does that happen? I have no idea. Is this something which my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren need to research and find out? Absolutely. Okay, yeah. But I know that just by paying attention that we learn something right here that is outside the parameters of what I was taught and what I thought I knew. But notice it's the moon and stars that rule over the night. And we go, oh, yeah, we know about the stars. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. Oh, do we really know about the stars? The scripture has a lot to say about the stars, and we're not going to chase that rabbit right now because we're in the Psalms. But we've already paid some attention to it. Maybe in the 8th Psalm we saw some things, right? But I'm going to tell you that the stars are not as we have been taught. Okay, the sun rules over the day. The moon and stars rule over the night. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Again, I'm Dale. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.